Hello curl friends, and welcome to the video that is Real Life Curly Girl's 10 Commandments for Being a Wavy Girl. This is a very silly video. Of course, these are obviously not commandments of any sort. I am a firstborn child, and so I have often in my life been accused of being bossy. Clearly, this is not true, and this is an unfounded accusation. I've been doing this for a little over a year, following the Curly Girl method, trying to tame these locks into something that look better than unruly, unkempt, frizzy hair. And so these are the things that have gotten me through the last year and a month or two, or a year and a couple months. So I hope that you find them helpful. So my first commandment, if you are following the Curly Girl method, is that thou shalt not use sulfates, and therefore thou shalt not use silicones. Why? What's the premise of this? First of all, I would urge you to read Lorraine Massey's The Curly Girl Method. It's a handbook that's been around for a decade, maybe 15 years at this point in time. So she's the founder of the Curly Girl movement, which is followed by many people, and that's the basics of the Curly Girl method. Read the book, but the cornerstone is this. Sulfates severely dry out your hair, but you need to use them if you're using products that contain silicones, which are very effective at taming frizz, but what they do is actually build up on themselves, and they sort of suffocate your hair strands so that water can not penetrate them. So you're drying out your strands with silicones, and then to remove them you must use sulfates, which dry out your strands even more. If you want good looking wavy or curly hair, you want moisture in your hair. That is the number one driver of healthy looking hair, and especially healthy looking curls. Curly hair is much more prone to being dry because the oils and sebum produced by your scalp simply cannot make their way to the length of your hair because of all the curls and waves and kinks that get in the way. The curlier the hair, the drier each individual strand. So that is why sulfates and silicones are out. They're off the table according to the Curly Girl method. Of course, if you're not following the Curly Girl method, you can use whatever products you want. But if you'd like to follow the method, that's the cornerstone, and that's the reason why. Okay, in my book, thou shalt never skip the squish to condish method, ever. And the reason for that is the squish to condish method, so hard to say, the squish to condish method is so important for wavy hair because you're trying to encourage your waves. You don't have the curly cues, the kinks, the coils that other hair types have, and their purpose or their goal in a lot of instances is to elongate their curls. If you have wavy hair like mine, which is mostly in the 2B category, if you understand the categorization of wavy to curly hair, is 2B. And so 2B hair is closer to straight on the spectrum than it is to curly, kinky, coily. So with that in mind, most of the time you're probably trying to encourage your wave. And in order to do that, you want to squish your conditioner in your hair upside down in the shower before you rinse. And you might not rinse any of your conditioner out. So basically the premise is this, and I'll put a link right here to my Get Ready With Me video where I kind of demonstrate exactly how to do squish to condish, and the Polished Curl also has a fantastic video on squish to condish, so I will also put a link right here for you to check out her video because it is awesome, and actually that video is really what helped me learn how to do the squish to condish method. Next up, number 3, thou shalt embrace crunch. And when I say crunch, I'm talking about the good crunchy cast you get from a gel that works for you. Your goal, if you're a wavy like me, especially with fine hair, is to get a good crunchy cast. And you want to leave that gel cast in your hair as long as possible. So whether it's air drying or whether it's diffusing your hair, try to leave that cast in your hair for 15 to 45 minutes, maybe even an hour or two after your hair is 100% dry, because that will create sort of a curl memory for that gel. And then when you do, scrunch out the crunch, because you're not supposed to leave in your gel cast. So don't be afraid of the crunch. You want to scrunch out the crunch, flip your head upside down, ruffle your hair at your scalp really, really good to break that up, and then start scrunching. It's the same movement as squish to condish. scrunch it, scrunch it, scrunch it until you've got that cast all the way out. And if it's a really stubborn cast, or if you have especially fine hair and it's really hard for you to scrunch that out, or maybe you have arthritic fingers and it's hard for you to scrunch out the crunch, put a little bit of oil, I mean, like really a half a pea-sized amount, or a little half a pea-sized amount of conditioner, or of curl cream, or whatever you like that is an emollient of some kind to break up that cast more effectively for you while still encouraging your gel to keep its hold. So that's my recommendation. I command you to stop lusting after curly hair. I'm looking at you. No, seriously though, you gotta stop. You gotta stop watching people on YouTube with super curly hair. You gotta stop looking at people on Facebook with super curly hair and wishing that that's what was on your head. I command you to embrace the waves that are on your head. Get the most out of them. Use curl enhancers if you want to. Use a couple of curl enhancers if that's what works for you. That's completely fine. But realize that your hair will never do more than it is capable of. That's the first thing. The second thing is love it for what it is. You may have just a slightly beachy mermaid wave. Call it that in your mind. Mermaid waves, beachy waves. Whatever positive image you can give yourself of your soft waves until you start to love them, because it really will make a difference. If you glean great information from those other curlies on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and wherever else it is that you're following them, then that's great. But don't lust after their curls. Love your own waves. Thou shalt have a nighttime plan for preserving thy curls and waves. And here's why. So, when you put so much time and effort into doing your hair, especially on wash day, mostly on wash day is really what I'm talking about, the last thing you want to do is do it the next day, and the next day, and the next day. I feel like there is no surefire way to quitting the curly girl method than having to relive wash day every single day. Every other day is acceptable. That's what I prefer to follow, but I know for a lot of wavy and curly girls, it's every third day, every fourth day, even once a week in some cases. Good heavens, if I could go once a week, that would be amazing, but I would not be happy with my hair. Maybe in a few years that will be possible for me to achieve, but I'm just not there yet. So have a nighttime plan, whether that is only sleeping on a satin pillowcase with your hair fanned out above you, you know, if you're not a wild and crazy sleeper. If you are a wild and crazy sleeper, try a buff. Which is something you can buy at Walmart, and put all of your hair up like Marge Simpson style, like inside the buff, to keep it from tangling and getting frizzy on your pillow at night. Sleep with a satin scarf instead wrapped around your head. Or put your hair up in a pineapple like I normally do. That's a great option. It's really easy. You can use a scrunchie, you can use clips. There are all kinds of things that you can do. So Google methods for pineappling curly hair and see what you can come up with. There are lots of YouTube videos out there too of different methods for longer hair, for shorter hair. The list is endless. So have a nighttime plan, because that's going to set you a foundation for the next day so that you can get second day hair and maybe even third day hair or fourth day hair out of your wash day. Thou shalt lower thy expectations for the days after wash day. At least for me, the days after wash day are just not as good. Wash day is my jam. I love wash day. I don't love doing my hair necessarily. I don't hate it. I've gotten to the point where, you know, I kind of enjoy it. Love would be a strong word, but I kind of enjoy it because I have found the products that really work for me, and knowing that I rotate my products, as I mentioned in my previous video, rotating my products is really important. So when I look at the dew points and the weather and consider what I used yesterday and the day before that, I kind of have a better idea at this point of what products to use to set up my hair for success. Day 2, and if I can achieve day 3, which I've only ever been able to do using Raw Curls products on wash day, just to be honest, I'm pretty excited, like I'm ecstatic, okay? However, day 2 hair is still never as good as wash day for me. So if you're disappointed day after day with your day 2 and day 3 hair, lower your expectations. catch some heat for this one. You guys are gonna hate on me, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Wear makeup. Oh, I said it. I did say it. But here's why. Wavy and curly hair can look a little bit less polished than straight hair. It's just true. It can. That doesn't mean it has to. That doesn't mean that it will. It just means that since we're not coating our strands in silicones and slicking it back behind our ears or in a bun or in a ponytail or whatever, it can look a little bit wilder and freer, and I think that's a great thing. I love that look. But if you're wanting to look polished, especially if you're in a professional environment and it's important to you and it's important to your career to look more polished, and you're not wearing any makeup at all, having free-flowing hair and no makeup and no jewelry or whatever, I mean, if you've got a really simple look going and that's your style, more power to you. But the truth is, it doesn't look very polished. So if it's your goal to look polished with your wavy, natural textured hair, makeup really helps. It really can make your hair itself look more elegant. So in this personal before and after, I was having an awful hair day and literally all I did was put on makeup, and I swear to you, everything about my look really improved. It makes a big difference. Don't hate on me. I'm just putting my observations out there. Thou shalt not panic over the size of thy hairball. Let me tell you why. When your hair was straight, it was falling out all over the place, and you never even noticed. It was on the back of your shirt, it was on your chair at work, it was all over your bathroom floor, because those hairs would fall right out. They'd slip right out from all their other hair friends and fall out. You'd brush your hair, and your brush would be just like full of hair, years of hair, right? Well, when your hair falls out and it's wavy or curly, those hairs that fall out, you know, they might not be attached to your head anymore, but they're trapped in your curl clumps. They're trapped in those waves. They just don't come out typically until you wash your hair or you run your fingers through it, and then you think you're losing a lot of hair. You're not losing any more hair than you were before. It's just stuck. It's stuck in your hair. Trust me. Don't be afraid of the hairball. Now, if you're losing a lot more hair and you notice patches of hair falling out, maybe you're doing something vastly different than you did before. For example, if you're co-washing only, all right, I'm gonna get some heat for this one too from the co-washing only people. For wavies, I don't think co-washing only is a very good idea. It's not good for your scalp. You're not removing enough dirt and things, and all the stuff that's on your scalp is eventually going to get stinky. It's gonna be unhealthy. You're gonna lose a lot of hair. I don't know. Don't do that. Don't do that. But don't be afraid of the hairball otherwise. Thou shalt fluff thy hair several times a day. I don't care what products you're using. If you're a wavy, chances are you're after volume, number one, and number two, it's hard to get it. So the way you gotta do it is you gotta get your hand up there and shake those roots. If you think I don't do that before every video or every picture, you're out of your mind. Look at that. On this side versus this side, it makes a big difference. In between meetings, go in the bathroom stall, close that door, and fluff your hair. Stick it upside down. Fluff it, fluff it, fluff it, fluff it. Oh, the volume is so good. And the only way to get all that volume is to fluff your hair. There is no product in the world that is going to give you volume that makes it stick around all day long. It's just not there. I don't know what to tell you. I've tried a lot of products. I've tried a lot of volumizing products, and while they can give me volume in here, it's this crown lift area and right in here that is so hard for me to achieve. Maybe you can do it, but I can't do it. So for me, fluffing my hair several times a day is the way to get it. It's just life. When you had straight hair, didn't you brush your hair several times a day? Didn't you tuck it behind your ears several times a day? I think people forget that even when their hair was straight, they still did things to it. It was just different. It was brushing it. It was putting it in a ponytail. You were still trying to get it out of your face back then. Fluff it, fluff it, fluff it. And last but not least, Thou shalt embrace functional frizz. Embrace your frizz. I'm not talking about that annoying halo frizz that happens up here. I'm talking about the wild hairs that kind of escape from their curl clumps right in here that give you that look of voluminous, healthy hair. Like, you want some frizz. Trust me, I promise that you do. Think of it as a one-way ticket to Volume City. Embrace it. Love it. It works. I hope my 10 commandments was helpful for some of you guys. This is a video I've been thinking about doing for a while, just as I have sort of made different observations about myself and about other wavies and curlies that I've seen on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Those are the 10 things that have really stuck with me. And so anyway, if any of them were helpful to you, leave me a comment down below. And if there are any other commandments that I should have included, put them down below. I want to know what the things are that stand out in your mind that help you with your curly girl success. So I'll chat with you guys soon. I hope you have a good curl day. Bye.